Stream is starting. The Captain Coder at the helm. Bean water is ready. Today we will learn a lot. He loves the questions, he loves to sing. Join our Discord, follow him.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you happen to be in the world. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Hope you're having a beautiful morning. Hope you're having a beautiful life. Hope you're having a beautiful week. Hoping you're having a beautiful month, beautiful year. Whatever you're doing, I hope it's beautiful. Captain Coder here on this beautiful Wednesday, folks. Happy Wednesday. We are back at it. It's so wonderful to have the whole crew here with us on this beautiful day. Code Monk, congratulations once again on your first. I've been wanting to set up a streak counter. So when someone's getting the first, they know how many times they've gotten first. There's a streak counter I want to set up in general too, though. Code Monk, it's great to have you here. Poostack, I'm sorry to hear things are going a bit rough. I hope things are on the up and up. It's always lovely when I get a chance to see that name in the chat, my friend. It's great seeing you here. I hope you are having a beautiful day. Siler, it's always awesome to have you back here again. Thank you again so much for being here. Siler, what? I feel like I ask you this every day, but what's new? What's new? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Siler, it's great to have you here. And Dram, I hope your game's coming along well. Are you working, Dram, or are you taking like a little break from game development? Because I know you tend to have like an on and off type thing, but I hope your game is coming along. I feel like I haven't seen any updates in a while, but maybe I just haven't been looking. Let's go see. Where's the last update you posted? Give me a second. Yeah, the last post was back in February. I need an update. Your test shop was looking good though. Your vendor shop. Dram, I'd love to get an update on that. Moonez, I know you're cooking. You're cooking along. Just here to grab some points. Make sure Dram can't get ahead of you. Gotta keep Dram at bay. A Moonez a day keeps the Dram at bay. That's what I've heard. That's what the doctor tells me, folks. What? Got myself some Earl Grey tea this morning. What are we working on? What are we doing today? Let's check it out. Working on the Dungeon Crawler Jam 2024. Absolutely excited about this. Dungeon Crawler Jam 2024, for anyone who's not familiar with it, I think you're all familiar with it. We get about, I think it's 9 days to create a dungeon crawler. It starts on Friday. We're 2 days out, a little bit more than 48 hours away. A little bit more than 48 hours. It'll be 53 hours and 56 minutes. I can't start right on time. I'll be in the middle of teaching my school. It's getting closer. Code Monk, I saw you were Are you gonna do a solo submission, or are you just playing around making some stuff? I saw what you posted on Discord, which looks awesome. The crunch is coming, yeah. I saw your Code Monk. I saw this. Zupadan, welcome back to the stream, my friend. Glad to have you here. This looks great. What are you doing this in? Is this Godot? Is this Unity? Tell me all about it. I have a team, 2 artists and 1 programmer. Very nice. Sidrin, welcome back to the stream. Great to have you here on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. I think I keep saying it's Monday. We're making a lot of progress though on our engine. So I'm really excited about it. Super Dan, I can never just make a thing and be like, we're gonna do this a one-off thing. I have to build a whole tool chain for doing it, which has been super fun. I was in the process. Here's what I just added. Dungeon editor should show tile texture. So in the dungeon editor now, little prototype done in Godot. Very cool. Are you using GD script? How do you feel about GD script? I'm impressed by the level of commitment. Super Dan, when I was growing up, I was super into dungeon crawlers. John Daly's Dungeon Master. We used to have a John Daly's Dungeon Master. I must have spelled Daly wrong. Daly. John Daly Dungeon Software. John Daly Software. This was the dungeon crawler I spent a ton of time in. This was a BBS dungeon crawler that had a construction set. So you could actually make mods. So this ended up being a Doors game. I don't know if anyone's familiar with what a Doors game is. Shingeki Clow, welcome to the stream. Can I call you Shingeki? Let me know if you want me to pronounce it a little bit different. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Happy Wednesday. So when I was growing up, this was where it was at. Look at this dungeon crawler. This is why I love thin walls in dungeon crawlers. Claudio, let me add a little note here for myself. Claudio. I'll try to remember that. I'll do my best. No promises. Claudio, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here on this beautiful day. So we have like this. It came with a construction set, first person. They have these different views that pop up. Player editor. And this was a multiplayer game. And I just was obsessed with this when I was younger. I really, really enjoyed it. But it had a Dungeon Master construction set, so you could build your own modules. You could distribute them out to other people. Let's see, do they have Dungeon Master modules? I don't see it. I think I still have a license for this. Well, downloadable Dungeon Master modules. Yeah, so people would make modules and you could get them. Oh, it doesn't show all the modules here. It's okay. But such a cool game. I've been obsessed with dungeon crawlers ever since. And so I'm about to do a poll here, a pull request, merge this in. My dungeon editor now will show the tiles onto the map as well. They look kind of hideous. That's okay. It's because they're hideous tiles. They're like AI generated. But you can actually set the tile that you want, the floor tile here. So let's say if I wanted this to be a door, use the door tile on the floor here. I can set it this way. We need an easier way to set these things. But you can actually see the map now in the editor rather than having to be surprised by it. So we have this here. I can put that in there. Let's save it. Let's go ahead and export this. So exit the editor. We're going to export our project. We'll build it up. Let's get it into our renderer now. So now I can do a bash build. It's going to take our project. It's going to ship it off to Unity. Let this load for a second. Claudio says, I'm an always noob to game programming, but I've worked a lot with Unity and I have been using Godot for a couple months now. And I have to say, GDScript is awesome. It's easy to use and very noob friendly. Yeah, I've heard really good things about GDScript. I haven't used a lot of GDScript. When I've used Godot, I've done C#. But that said, I really, really like Godot's lightweightness. I've seen really, really great things with GDScript. Renaud Marshall, welcome back to stream. Renaud Marshall, I gotta get my box of hats ready because I know it's coming. So I'm getting my box of hats ready. They weren't set up. Claudio, thank you for following. Claudio, welcome to the crew. Claudio, thank you for following me today. Claudio, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. We got 2 hats to add on to this stack. Marshall, thank you for the hat redeem. Let's get a hat. Boom! Thank you for the hat. And Pooh Stack, let's get a second hat on there just for you. Boom! Thank you for the hats, fellas. Thank you for the hats. We're going to hop back in here. So now we can run this and we'll see those textures that I added in. Okay, so we have the textures. There's a few. So the floor texture is different here. It's dirt in here, and it's wood in here, and it is a different tile in here. Add the hats onto the heap. We need a hat heap. So look, we're taking them from the heap and we're putting them in the stack. Here, let me show you. We're taking them. There's a hat heap already over here. So here, there's the heap of hats. The hat heap, and then we add them to the stack. So they go from the heap to the stack. So we got a heap of hats already. That's a lot of potential hats. It's a lot of potential there with those hats for sure. Rugs, welcome back to the stream. Happy to have you here. So we're making some great progress here. I'm really, really happy with this. I was just diddling around with this a little bit here. let's get this merged in. All right, so we added in this. Hang on, it passed our test. Yeah. Okay, confirm that. Didn't break anything. Assassin. Assassin's back, folks. We can begin. Assassin, we can start now that you're here. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Red Mur, how you doing, my friend? I got myself my fancy mug today. It's my favorite mug. A little adhesive hats to a little stack of hats. CS Concepts explained clearly. It's true. It's true. Let's get checkout main here. We're gonna do a pull. Oh, this font's probably too small. That's why I keep get status. Did I not add this again? I just rebuilt it. It's so frustrating. It doesn't actually reset my progress though. Get reset hard. Get check out main. Get pull. Get branch. Go ahead and delete branch 81 here. Assassin says it's going all right so far. Made my player controller for the jam. Nice. There's one thing left I want to do, so not 100%. Yeah, I want to add in a fast-moving player controller. We'll see if we'll get there, though. Good XP rated me, and I want to say thank you. Oh, yeah, we got good XP rating me. Thank you for being here, folks. Be sure to give good XP a follow. What were you working on your stream, my friend? I hope it was beautiful. I hope you're doing something fun. Tell us all about it. Good XP. Welcome back to the stream. I'm glad to have you here on this beautiful day. All right, what are we going to work on next? What did I say I wanted to work on? I don't know if I said anything in my live stream notification. Let's see. Just more dungeon crawler goodness. Yeah, give me some freedom. I don't have to have no commitments. So I can make that. I want to make my player bump on walls. Gotcha. So it'll have like a little animation of you bumping into walls. Ooh, that's kind of a good one. I am the lone wanderer from Fallout. Ah, now I know. I didn't know that, but now I know. TIL, today I learned. Hyper, congratulations on number 8, my friend. Welcome back to the stream. Happy to have you here. So we got that one, and let's look at what we have left here. You're learning modeling in Blender. I need to do more 3D stuff. I really do. Okay, so there's a couple things I want to be able to do. We want to see what on getting and setting textures from a script. I think would be pretty cool. So you could have a script, something happens and it modifies a texture in the game. So maybe you pull a switch and it turns on water or something like that. I think that could be pretty cool to do. What are the fun ones? Texture variants, that one feels kind of hard to implement. Make it easier to change wall textures. This could be a nice one. Right now, it's super painful to modify our dungeon map. The textures, that is. So watch. I'll show you how painful this is. You ready for some pain? If I want to, let's say I'm building a map. All right, so I add in some walls. And I would like to fill this space in with a new tile. I have to do this. Let's say I want to make it this moss stone tile here. I have to do this every spot. I have to go, select the spot. So I think something that we might implement, something that can make it easier, is have a palette selection. So instead of having to select it every time, there's a button where you could select a texture. And then there's a button where you paint the texture. So I'd press T to select my texture, and then I would press spacebar or something to paint my textures, so I can switch between what I'm painting and whatnot. I hope that makes some sense. So that's a feature that is kind of, would be really, is a very nice to have, not a necessary to have. This is also I think this one I really want to have. Let's do this one. Make it easier to change textures. I think we're gonna do this one next. I think it won't be that hard to implement. So let's go ahead and create the branch from this. Boom. That's what we're doing today. That's what we're doing. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out. Boom, boom. I really should be working on a menu system. We need to work on a menu system soon, but I'm having too much fun with my map creation. Also, I'm not sure what type of menu. I need to talk with my team. I think that the theme might actually help inform our menu system a little bit as well. I need to figure out how to make this not compile every time. I've made no changes and it wants to recompile. It sends in new libraries. They're the same libraries, but somehow they think they're new. I don't understand that one. So we're gonna figure that out. All right, we're gonna hop in here momentarily. Oh, come on. There we go. There we go. All right. So on my dungeon editor screen, I want to have a selected tile. So I'm going to have like a tile selected. So here will be public. I think it's a tile. It's yeah, so it's going to be a public string current texture. Current texture. Get, and I suppose I could do this. Get set, and the current texture. I kind of want this thing to be null to start out, but we can do a string.empty to start it out. Really, it's going to be our default texture when we start. BK. Congratulations on number 9. Welcome back to the stream, my friend. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Excuse me, my throat. I keep I might have to stop for a second, clear my throat. I know I keep doing it, and it's probably going right into the mic and right in your ear, so I'm apologizing for that ahead of time. When we select this, so I'm thinking I want to make it so when we do T, we'll press T, it'll actually set our tile. I'm doing absolutely wonderful, BK. I'm having such a blast, such a good time. That look. Dungeon Crawler Jam, I think it might be my favorite time of year. I've only done it 1 year prior. This is a new time, but I'm feeling like this is going to be my favorite time of the year every year. So Zuperdan, you can never not run Dungeon Crawler Jam in the future. You're not allowed. You have to run it every year forever. It's like Christmas. It's like Christmas. Yeah, so Zuperdan, I'm just letting you know you have to. You can't not. Okay, so when we're finished, rather than setting this, we are just gonna set texture result here. We need a way to remove the textures. So this is interesting. This is interesting because we have, yeah, the texture result here makes this a little bit trickier because we got to select a texture. And the default one is used to remove values. So we actually, I think, want to have this. Okay, so this is where this makes sense. The texture we're using looks like this. Current texture is not a string, it's a texture result. And by default, our texture result is our a default texture dot shared. This is what we're doing by default. Okay. And in our renderer, where we display the information on what we currently have selected, we'll add in here some information about the current painting texture. Draw text. Painting. Selected texture. And this needs to be, we need to like take our value and turn it into a string. So it's going to say like default, or so default will just, it basically deletes whatever texture's there and replace it with the dungeon default. BK, I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, thank you. It's going to be based off of our selected texture. Hang on. What did I call it? current texture. Kind of feel like selected texture makes more sense. Selected texture. Texture. Come on, fingers. You gotta learn how to type, fingers. Come on. Okay. Selected texture is default. We have to do. There's like a switch here. This is why it feels like we need a static string texture name takes in a texture result and gives us back the name. So there's a switch here. So we're going to go into a texture switch, and we're going to say if you're a default texture, default. And then if you're not a default texture, you happen to be a texture reference string name. And this will just be name. And then otherwise, there's no option here. There's only two types of this. So otherwise it'd be throw new, not implemented exception, unknown texture result, and this will be texture. All right. As much as I wanted to put that all here in this one line, I can't. I could have. It would have been a bad idea though. We'll do texture name of selected texture, like so. I have such a non-work day today. All I need to do is just run a script on my PC, struggling finding stuff to do. You have a non-work day today. So you're saying you don't have work today, so you're trying to keep yourself busy? I'm missing, I don't quite understand, BK. I have such a non-work work. Oh, you have, okay, you are at work, but there's not a lot to do. That's frustrating. I know a lot of people have mentioned that type of issue to me in the past. I feel like the only time I've ever had a job like that was when I was working in the food industry. So I worked at a restaurant, and when it was slow, it'd feel like there's nothing to do. And I hated that. I like always having something to do, keep me busy. When I've been in the programming world, as a programmer, it's always felt like there's stuff to do. As a teacher, I feel like there's always stuff to do. I feel like I never have enough time to get everything done. I don't find it that stressful. Some people find that stressful. Lumen, how you doing? Are you lighting the way for us today? Okay, so now, how you doing, friend? It's great to have you here. So handle, this is really going to be switching our textures. So it's going to be handle wall texture. It's going to be actual select texture like this. And select texture, you press T, pulls this up. The result now, I'm going to save this little chunk here because this needs to be a like paint texture. I'm going to save this down here because I want it later. BK says, I have work today, but all I need to do is wait for this script to finish. It'll take about 10 or so hours. Oh man, that's a lot. That's a lot. This is where working from, if you were working from home, that wouldn't feel as bad. That wouldn't feel as bad. So this will be selected texture equals results, like this. Beautiful. So we're gonna get this selected, we can select it. Now I need a button to paint the texture. And so maybe, I need two buttons. So we selected texture and I need to be able to paint the walls and floors. So I still need to handle paint tile texture. Okay, and then I kind of want to know when it's like paint a wall texture. So paint tile texture. If we press F, we don't have to open up a screen anymore. It's just going to be this chunk here, where we say this is a switch on our selected texture now. Selected texture. Like that. So we're gonna paint the tiles. Ooh, we need to check if we actually press the buttons. This is if raylib dot key is pressed, and we're gonna say keyboard key dot I did on F. Space is painting walls or drawing walls. So it's kind of wondering if we need a way to like switch modes. This will paint a tile texture. And then I want one of these that's gonna paint a wall texture. Paint wall texture. So we got F for painting floors. It's like switching a Captain Coder and scribbling it is. Enjoying a beautiful day. Yeah, working retail. I've never worked retail. I worked in a fast food restaurant though. Illuminate the way in the dark here, exactly. Lighten our way for the future today. We got the lumen in the chat, okay? Selected texture now. This isn't gonna be the F key. We gotta make it be a different key, or we can switch painting modes. I'm gonna make it G. I wanna make it, I really want it to be space, but I'm wondering if I just make this part of the drawing wall. So when you press space here, yeah, I actually think I'm just gonna make it so when you're pressing space, get rid of this. So we already have a thing here for handle cursor movement, move or rotate. There's a thing that already is drawing the wall. Okay, so we're gonna have a paint wall here. Private void paint wall. I'm gonna save this real quick. This is the wall painting code here. Okay. Move handle cursor movement. And really, when we press space is when we should be painting the wall. I'm wondering if we need to have a wall texture and a floor texture, so this could get a little bit confusing. Biffles, congratulations on number 10, my friend. What a lucky number. Lucky number 10. Welcome back to the stream. Biffles, I hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you happen to be in the world. So when we go to do this wall, I want it to also check. There's a wall there, and the wall is this type of wall. And the texture is there as well. And the current dungeon dot get texture name cursor dot position and cursor dot facing. It's getting long. Is equal to our, yeah, there's a little bit something a little tricky here. So we already had, yeah, there's something a little tricky here. For now, I could do that wall. We remove the wall. We need to remove, let's do current dot wall textures dot textures dot remove cursor. It's going to be current dungeon. Oh no, this is the current dungeon. Cursor dot position, cursor dot facing. What is remove? Like that. Go and remove the texture with the wall. And when we set the wall, we want to do current dungeon dot set texture. It's Player BR. Welcome to the stream. We are working on a dungeon crawler, a tool for creating a dungeon crawler, actually. Set texture, is this the right one? Yeah, dungeon position facing. All right, so it's going to take our dungeon, cursor dot position, cursor dot facing, and we want to set it based off of this. Okay, so this is actually how we get the... Okay, so we need to do this. We need to do this here. We paint the wall. We need to set the wall texture. Hang on, did I lose my current dungeon tile texture since it's a wall texture? It's kind of like this though. All right, so the action... Yes, so it's kind of like this. Should be draw wall, and then maybe we need to put a separate method just to keep it all making sense here. If our selected texture is this, then our current dungeon dot set texture. This would actually be our wall textures dot textures dot remove cursor position cursor dot facing, like that. Sky Driver, I'm doing absolutely wonderful. I hope you are doing absolutely wonderful on this beautiful Wednesday. Any day I can wake up and code with the crew is a beautiful day, and today is another beautiful day. Dot set texture, cursor dot position, cursor dot facing, and then the texture that we're going to actually set here is texture name. Okay. This is one way we could do it. The Lumen asked me, what is your opinion on certifications? I think they are... I will say I have 0 certifications. I have 0 certifications. Experience speaks louder than certifications, in my opinion. That said, I don't think they mean nothing. But I will say I have no certifications. My opinion on them is they are mostly things that your company should be paying for you to learn, in my opinion. Skyler says, yes, Captain, I am. It's getting colder here. I think next week we could get some snow. Really, it's warming up here. It's been getting nice and toasty. But yeah, it depends on the certification, really. So there are some advanced certifications. So I think certifications for doing stuff with like Amazon Web Services can be useful to have to say, hey, by the way, I can do some DevOps things. I think a certification that says, hey, I took an intro to programming course means nothing in software engineering. I think for the most part, they're not completely scams, but they are not the... I don't necessarily think that they're the most useful tool. I want to get something here. We're drawing the walls. Yeah, I don't think that certification means anything. I wouldn't let that. I wouldn't pay for that certification, in my opinion. Something that's like through Amazon or Microsoft, maybe a little bit more, but a Coursera course I don't think has a lot of value unless you're trying to use it to get college credits, in which case you might be. So I know there are some courses that give you college credits if you pay for the certification. That is a little bit more legitimate. You're coming for it, Skydriver. What are you saving up for? Saving up for that board game redeem? Biffle says, my previous company got some type of Microsoft discount by having a certain number of developers certified in some of their technologies. Yeah, so usually the certificates are something a company will pay, say, hey, we want to use this tool, we want to use this technology, we need to get you guys certified in it, so we're going to pay for you to go take this course. That's what a big company would do. And then they can say, the company can now say, hey, our engineers are certified in this way. If it could compare to your passion for coding, I think it might be more. I might be more passionate about board games. I'm not sure if you've seen this portion of my collection that sits behind me here. I might be more passionate about board games. I'm not sure though. These days it feels like coding is what I'm more passionate about, but in the past it hasn't always felt that way. Let's do a. How did you get hired? At the school I work at, or so I don't work as a software engineer currently. If you want me to talk about how I was hired in software engineer, I could talk about that. I could also talk, if you want to hear how I got hired at my current job, I could tell that story as well. I want to test this real quick. Streams by a Wave. Welcome back, Stream. Could you remind me of the C# book? Yeah, absolutely. The book that I absolutely love is the C# Player's Guide. I think it's one of the best, if not the best book to get. I cannot recommend this book enough. C# Player's Guide. It looks like, grab it off my shelf here. Nope, this isn't it. Where is it? Where'd you go? Where'd my C# Player's Guide go? Oh, it's on my desk. It's sitting right here on my desk. It is this book, C# Player's Guide. This is the 5th edition. I think they're up to the 7th edition. It might be the 6th edition plus some addendums. This book is fantastic. It's not too long, but the exercises in it are fantastic. They're super, super good. The pacing in the book is fantastic. I think this book is good for people who are just learning programming, and also good for people who already know some programming but want to learn C#. It will take you all the way through basics of coding to object-oriented programming to C# specific stuff. Biffle says, to get hired, he was a man of 3 hats: recruiter's hat, manager's hat, interviewer's hat. Yeah, the secret is just to wear a bunch of hats to the interview, and they say, well, you wear a lot of hats. You say, yeah, I do. And they say, you're hired. That's how I did it. That is how I did it. All right, I'm gonna look here. I think I can select a texture now. Let's go with our moss stone. Yeah. And now I can paint. See, it's a little bit hard for me to paint this because of that key is the wrong key. I need it to be, I'm gonna make it the J key. The J key is what I'm gonna make it. The F key is not right. Being able to click to paint is probably what I should really do, so I can click and drag, but that feels harder to implement. Maybe I should have it click and drag. That feels like the correct thing to do, actually. Let's do a J. I haven't implemented any mouse stuff in Raylib though, so it'd be a little bit hard to look into. Maybe not. Maybe it won't be that so bad. Skydriver says, we played Risk with 3 other people via the internet. The board game was set on our table and streamed out to the co-players. Very cool. My wife or I made the game master. It was a lot of fun. It was in the middle of the pandemic, so no context. That's really cool. I know people have done that with Magic the Gathering. They'll play over Zoom or over the internet and have cameras showing their board state. And that can be really fun. All right, so let's set this to our moss. Now I can really paint. Yeah, now it's easier, much easier to paint the floor. I need them better textures. I need some better tiles. Maybe I'll go find some tiles that we can paint with. Should be 3D. Just consume Minecraft maps. So you've seen what it produces, right, Biffles? Yeah, so I can take this. Dungeon Crawler Etch a Sketch. Oh, it's genius. It's genius. All right. So I think when I paint my walls now, if I select a... Yeah, this is a little bit interesting. When I paint, I'll get my wall texture. Let's do a moss. Let's do a different wall. Let's choose moss stone. So it will paint the moss stone. So I need to make it a little bit easier to paint. And I kind of need it to show the texture on the walls as well. So I know what wall it looks like there. Cool. Cool, cool. So we've made a little bit of progress here. Easier to draw the tiles for sure. Drawing the walls still doesn't feel right. We can get rid of this. Yeah. Okay. Come up to our paint wall. It's going to be something like this. Textures cursor equals this. We need to get the name of the texture on the wall at the position we're facing, and we only toggle the wall off if everything already matches. And so I need to pull this information out first. Let's write a little thing here. Static. No, it can't be static. It'll be a string. Get current texture. Current texture is going to be in this. But rather than result, current wall texture is going to be, I do that. Current wall texture is going to be our selected texture. And then default texture is going to be our current dungeon.wall textures.default. Solid. Yeah, so it depends on multiple things. Are we painting doors? Are we painting walls? What is wall? Wall is defined up there. Okay, let's go back. Default texture, and then so let's do a switch on this and our wall. So if this one is wall type dot solid door secret door, there's like a none that we'll have to put in here as well. I'm not sure what to do with that, so this will be our default door, default secret door. I'm not sure what to do with none. If it's a texture reference, we can just get the texture name. It's a current, so it's like a selected texture name. Okay. And I think I need to add in one more here. And I string.empty. Let's go with this for now. If we are trying to write to a wall and the selected texture name is equal to the texture that's already there. So this is why I wanted like two things. So I need to like string selected texture is selected texture name. I don't like how long this method's getting. String current texture is going to be our current dungeon dot get texture name cursor dot position cursor dot facing. And what we really care about is, are these things equal? selected texture, current texture, tile wall texture. So if everything matches, we delete. Otherwise, we replace. All right, this method is a bit gnarly. We'll need to clean this up and refactor. Let's try it here. All right, turns on, turns off, no problem. But I'm gonna select my moss stone. Okay, switch to moss stone, turns it on and off. Okay, that feels like what I want. Go try it on an existing map. So if I'm in my town, I want to paint the walls inside here. I'm gonna make them solid walls. Let's select that we want. I need more wall tiles. Let's just go with we'll go with moss stone. Okay, it's pretty easy to paint the walls. Okay, that feels good. I do need some way to indicate which ones are painted and not, so I don't have to build and run the game to see it. But we're good for now. All right, let's save. Let's do a build just to go check, see what it looks like. That feels pretty good. The code feels a little, yeah. I have a tavern and I want it painted black. Black is the color of the tavern that I want. Do 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 do. Biffles, glad to, great little reference you got going on there. All right, let's check this out. So are the tavern walls inside different? Let's go look. They are! Look at that. Okay, pretty easy to do. Easier, definitely easier to do. Okay, awesome, awesome. Let's consider a refactor on this paint wall. This whole thing feels nasty. Rabbit of the moon, welcome to back. Didn't think there would be anything that would give me an urge to play Guitar Hero so early in the morning, and then I get treated to cap singing Paint It Black. Is that what I was singing? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, Rabbit of Moon, happy Wednesday, my friend. I hope that urge is not too great. Or maybe it's exactly what you need to play, get yourself, have a little fun. Guess you're recording the game soundtrack. Yeah, I'm gonna do all the sound effects, do voiceovers for all the sound effects. Let's create a private string selected texture name. Here, I'm gonna pull this out so it can potentially be used elsewhere. Make this method a little bit less horrible. This if statement here is tricky, so I'm gonna pull it out here. Bool should remove wall is equal to if all of these things are true. And this one doesn't feel so bad putting this in one. line here so long as it's all on one line by itself. So I don't need to pull those out. And we'll say if should remove wall. I was really hoping this would indent nicely for me. There we go. I think that looks a little bit better. Have they made any new Guitar Heroes? In any recent years, I suppose, would be sort of my question. .NET format. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this update. That was not too bad. It's nice when a feature is easy to implement. Or straightforward to implement. All right, I think adding in a mouse click for that stuff would be really nice to have as well. Our map kind of needs to be bigger to be able to draw the lines, I think. Not that I'm aware of, but the internet did what it did and made Clone Hero. Ah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Git add. I don't need to add that actually. Git reset. I don't need to add the test here. Git add this. Git commit -m feature or refactor. Simplify wall texture painting. We'll push that up. We'll get that merged in. Seen Guitar Hero 3 at places like Dave & Buster's. Yeah, I've seen it at arcade places for sure. Okay, let's get a pull request going. Compare pull requests. Implements and closes number 75. Let's go look at what issue we're going to do next. Default dungeon. This one would probably be really good to do. Have it be so you can set what the default dungeon walls, dungeon tiles, set the defaults in there. Probably a good idea. Automatic texture variants. No, we're not going to do that. Easy to change. We're finishing that one. Add colors to walls. This one would be nice to have as well. We might do this one next. I actually think that would be nice to be able to see in the project. And this would add to, if we did want to add mouse controls for painting walls, we would want this. So I might end up changing the size of my grid so we can see it a little bit better. And then make it so you can click and draw. But right now my walls are three pixels wide, I think. And so it's gonna need to be 6 pixels wide, one on each side, a line showing the different walls that are on each side. So I think that's gonna be kind of important to do. And we can have it be based off of the texture itself, have it just squish the texture onto the map. We're gonna give that a try actually. I think we're gonna do this one next. Add colors to walls based on texture and dungeon. All right, this went through. Let's go and get this merged in. Yes. Get check out main. Get status. Get pull. Is it gonna? It's gonna cause an issue with that. Ooh, that's wild that let me do a pull there. I guess there was no changes to test.json. That's why. Get branch. Delete 75. All right. We'll start on this one next. Okay. This one's hard because the walls have different colors on each side. And so I need to rethink this whole process here. So right now we just draw a single line. Now I need to draw 2 lines, one on either side. And potentially, I think I want to draw a rectangle that is just very, very thin on either side. So let's start with that refactor. We have a render tiles, render scripted tiles, render background. Where is our render wall? Yeah, deletes local branches. It doesn't delete the remote branch. It just deletes the local branch so that you don't have it all on your file system anymore. So now when I do get branch, it only shows the ones that are here. Yeah. And I actually don't know that it completely deletes it. I think you can still restore it after you do that. I don't quote me on that, but I think it's possible. Let's find our render method here. Render tiles. We have a wall render. So we got to rework this wall renderer. Because we now also are going to need, so I think this actually takes in our, yeah, there's a little bit different here. I'm definitely quoting you on that. Thanks, Biffles. Yeah, our wall color. We need to render the walls differently now. Let's change our cell size first. I think this whole thing needs to be a little bit bigger. Let's change these to 24, because 16, the walls are going to be too thick here. Let's see what the wall looks like, actually. If we set our wall thickness, okay, it's only set to 2. What if we set the wall thickness to 4? Is it still gonna look weird? The wall thickness at 4 is pretty thick, man. That's not bad, actually. And then we will have a, yeah, that's not as bad as I thought it was. It's pretty thick. It's not as bad as I thought. And we'll put a rectangle. Essentially, it's going to be 2 rectangles, one on each side, showing the inside and the outside of the wall. And if they're the same texture, it ends up being the same. I'm a little concerned that if I use the texture image, we're going to try that, though. We're going to try it. So we need, what's interesting, we can't render just a wall map anymore. We need additional information, and the information is our wall texture map textures, like this. So we need to know what texture each wall has to render it properly. So this is going to take in our current dungeon.wall textures. Okay. And rather than drawing a line, we need to draw a rectangle at this position. So I'm wondering if we can still get this edge. For each tile edge wall type. It's a little bit different than this now, though. So we need to actually go through our texture map. Our wall texture map has, if I did a for each on my wall texture map. Hang on. We have a side. Each one of these has a side. So we need to get the opposite sides. We have a tile edge and a wall type. So this is just all the walls. Each wall is going to have 2 sides. Let's start by rendering 2 edge to coordinates. What does edge to coordinates do? These get our screen coordinates here. Two is our thickness. We get information. We get the line. I created a line struct. Okay. X, Y, and end. So I know where we start. I know where we end. But it's like centered on the line. Okay, that's the center of the line. I need to put something on the left, right, or top, bottom, depending on where we go. And that's what this is doing. So we know then how to produce the line from left to right based on our facing. Okay. So given that, I know the line. I know where I want to draw it. I can use that to get a rectangle, I believe. Or to generate a rectangle. I need to, in our textures, I need to know what texture to do. Let's start by just drawing 2 rectangles. We're going to start by drawing 2 rectangles first. And we'll use the default wall texture to start. I think I made a wall map tile renderer. Okay, so this is our tile renderer. Need a wall renderer. Tile info. This could still be... All right, so I think I want to change this to a rect info. So it's rectangle that we're going to draw onto the screen. Texture, source, target, origin, rotation, all this stuff. And then this will have a render on it. So we're going to create a rect info. Rect info side 0. New rect info. And we need the texture that we're going to do that for. So let's start by getting the texture. Texture 2D texture is going to be based off of our textures dot get. Do we not have a safe? It's part of dungeon. Oh, we need to have the dungeon pass and not just wall texture. So this should actually be the dungeon. Current dungeon. See, this is interesting because if that's going to be the case, it should just be this is dungeon. And then this should be render walls. Like that. Let's rename this walls. Render walls. Raptine! Welcome back to the stream. I'm doing absolutely wonderful. How are you, Raptine? I hope you're having a beautiful day. Happy Wednesday, my friend. Great to have you here. And so our wall map is equal to dungeon.walls. Okay, so we can just swap this out. Dungeon.walls. Ooh. .map. There it is. Let's come back to our editor here. Render. So it'd be current dungeon.render walls. Like that. Make sure we build. Beautiful. Make sure this is still drawing properly. This is where being able to write unit tests would be really nice. All right, so we're still drawing just fine. Yeah, looks good. Had some meeting last few days, but I don't like them much. So back to coding today. Feels okay, man. Yeah. Meetings can be draining. Meetings can be absolutely draining on you. I know in my experience that has been the case. Dungeon dot get texture names. It's gonna get a wall. I need to rename this. It should be called get wall texture name. It's gonna be our edge dot position, edge dot facing. And then we need to look this up in our texture cache dot get texture. And we need to know the name of our current project to do that. Okay. String project name. Refactor is interesting. All right, so project name needs to get passed in here. Project name. It makes sense though, because we need to know the information about which project we're rendering. Okay. So now that I have that, I can do this and I can render it, but we need to specify some additional information. So we have our texture. We need to, the target is going to sort of be based off our line. So where's our line dot start x, line dot start y, and then the width and this is interesting. This is interesting because our width and our height, we need to calculate this information a little bit differently now. It's not actually our line. We want to do something like this though. Yeah, we need to take. I'm thinking. We're no longer going to do this line renderer. We need to get our rectangle. Given our texture. Need to get our screen coordinates. Edge dot to rectangle rect info. We know the texture that we want. We also want to pass in these things. We're going to be able to do that to get the information. Okay, so to rect info is going to look a lot like this. Public static rect info. To rect info. This. And really, is it still a tile edge? Yeah, it's still a tile edge. Int cell size. Int left. Int top. So this is our base X and Y. This is the top left corner of our map. No, this is the top left corner of the position of this tile. Okay, top left corner of the position of this tile. Yes. Okay. And then we need to have, yeah, our start X and start Y. And then this becomes our width and height. Okay. So it's like this, but this becomes our X, our Y, our width and the height. This becomes X, Y. This becomes a width and the height. And at the end of the day, I'm surprised this is complaining about this. At the end of the day, we want to do a new rect info with our texture. Oh no, this is a texture 2D. Texture. Why are these unhappy? Hang on. Var x y equals edge dot facing. Why can't it do an edge dot facing? Oh, this should be a tile edge. That's why. So this is our X and Y. So this would be our target position. It's going to be equal to a new rectangle. X, Y, width, height. Like this. Okay. Now, the width and height. So let's think about this real quick. Our start X and start Y. I might need to draw a picture. I think I'm going to draw a picture. It'll help me visualize our start X and our start Y because it's going to be based on. I think it's going to be a little bit different than this. Comment these out for now. Oh, it doesn't like that. For now, I guess I shouldn't comment those out. You can just do. Okay. All right. I want to draw a little picture to understand what each situation is. So if I'm a north wall, I want to be down and on the inside of the edge. My width and height. Hang on. So if I'm north, let's start with facing.north. Facing.north. This is, I'm already in the top left corner. So it's going to be our base X. This is our left and right. It's the correct spot on the left and right. But the base Y should be shifted down by the wall size. We want the bottom half of this wall. So I'm going to create a const here just for now. Wall constant wall width 2. So we need to move this down by our wall width, because it's the bottom side of the wall. Now, when we render this out, the width and height, the width should be our cell size, and the height should be wall width. So this should be for facing.north. Actually, this would be facing north or south. But let's look at what south looks like here. Facing.south. We end up with base X and base Y. And this is the same here. Or facing.south. For east, facing.east, we're going to draw up and down. So our base X, but it's the inside wall. It's the wall that's on the inside here. We need to add in our wall width, like that. And then it's our base Y. So it's the top left corner, but shifted over or the width pixels. And so now if we're doing facing.east, our width is wall width and our height is our cell size. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same for west, but let's give it just a second here. West is the outside wall, so it's just base X, base Y. So this one would be south or facing.west. Those are the same. Move this down to the bottom, northeast, southwest. Otherwise, we throw this exception saying, hey, there's no such thing here. Something terrible's gone wrong. For facing.west, it's the same here. It's the width. Yeah, facing.west. All right, I didn't have to draw it out yet. We'll find out if that's true. So we do toRect_info and then we render that side. We need to find the opposite side as well. So we have our tile edge here. Yeah, we'll have to get the opposite side. For now, let's see if this should draw. Should look interesting. And then we have some dead code now that we're not using. We actually don't care about the wall type anymore, which is interesting. Let's see if we crash. Nameless coder, how are you on this beautiful day? Nameless coder, happy day. All right, so we got something wrong here. I guess I needed to draw it out. So the walls are not correct. The walls are not correct. And I can't say, oh, there's my menu. You'll see the walls are all kind of offset. They are different colors, but they are not correct for sure. I'm doing absolutely wonderful, Nameless Coder. Any day I can wake up code is a beautiful day, and I hope you're having a beautiful day. So you'll notice this wall is offset there. So we need to shift everything. Like, part of me is thinking I need to shift everything over by one cell size. That seems to be the case. This is interesting because it's I think this is, yeah. So I don't quite understand why it needs to be one more cell size. Let's look at here and understand that. Base X, base Y. Why does everything need to be shifted over one cell size to the right. So I'm pretty sure if I add in plus a cell size here, it will render better. My wall textures look terrible though. Might want to make that width. Dungeon editor. Yeah. And what's interesting is, oh, I'm only drawing the one side right now. So you're only seeing the one side come out. This is interesting. So these ones are now off by one. Holding it to move left and right would be useful. This is really interesting. That's correct, but this is not. So I don't understand the math here. When I'm when I'm east and west, I need to increase this. And I'm trying to understand that. Wait, where's my option for west? Yeah, so west facing dot west would now be just this. And I don't understand that. It's the top left corner of this cell. Let's add in the opposite side, side 0. And then we'll do rect info side 1. And we need to get a new edge. So the new edge should be tile edge opposite. It's going to be our edge width position equal to edge dot position, but we're stepping in the direction of the edge facing. And then we turn around. So this becomes our, I guess I can just construct a whole new one. Facing is equal to edge dot facing dot opposite. Like this. Congratulations on number 12, Raptine. Opposite dot to rect info texture. Like this being passed in as well. Side 1 dot render. So now it should draw the walls and have both sides of the walls. I think. That's so interesting. Okay. So I think I do need to draw it out. Because the position's different. Yeah, so... Okay, I understand. I understand what's going wrong. That's so funny. See, I should have drawn it out. Now I don't know. It's drawing around the selected tile, but minus some. Okay. This makes sense. Our rect information. If we are a north-facing wall, we're in a position and we're facing north. I think we're right. If we're in a position and we're facing south, we need to go to the bottom of that cell. Is that right? All right, so facing north, facing, let's do a little drawing. I have a grid. I am in this position facing north, or this position facing south. So when I face north, so I'm in, so when I'm in this position, I need to go to the bottom of this cell. When I'm in this position, I need to go to the top of this cell. So when I'm facing north, this is actually correct. wall width divided by 2, though. So really my wall width is 4. So it's half my wall width shifted down. When I'm going south, I need to go to the bottom of that cell and then shift down by my wall width divided by 2. So it's always wall width divided by 2 there. When I'm going east and west, so east, let's look at east real quick. I'm going east. I have 2 cells here. East is coming this direction. West is coming this direction. So east, I need to plus the cell size. West, I don't. Yeah. So I'm coming from the east side. I need the cell size. This is why I needed the cell size. Wall width divided by 2. I'm coming west. I don't need to do that. It's just my wall width divided by 2. Yeah. El calcetín perdido. El calcetín perdido. Welcome to the stream. El calcetín perdido. ¿Cómo estás? I can't remember what the word for today is, but as I say, mañana. How are you tomorrow? Welcome to the stream, my friend. Happy to have you here on this beautiful day. Thank you so much for the follow. Let's give it a try here. I feel like I need to draw a little border around my rectangle as well, just to distinguish it. We're close. We're close here. Is hoy? Is that for today? I feel like we need to draw a little. I'm off by something. I'm getting close. Could look it up. Today to Spanish. Hoy. Okay. You know, I should really know that. I should really know that better. This is interesting. Why don't I need to increase? This is suggesting to me that I don't want to do this. But now my wall width is interesting. So if I'm on the west side, that's my top left corner. Why don't I want to shift in at all? Let's see if this works. Oh. I'm doing the wrong thing for my wall width down here anyway. Yeah. But I could set my textures to 2 different textures, one on each side. God, that default floor texture is awful. It's really hard to see. Yeah, I still think I need to do the half. All right. I think it's related to, let's put these back in. Wall should be minus. I'm on the north. I need to move it up a little bit. If I'm going south, I need to move it down a little bit. Or not at all. I go all the way to the edge and move it. Oh, it would be up a little bit. Yeah, I think I had this backwards. I'm to the east. Go all the way to the east side, this plus cell size. And then I need to move back to the left a little bit. Okay, I had this backwards. I go to the west and then move it to the left a little bit. No, when I'm on the west side, I just draw it right there. When I'm on the north side, I just draw it right where it is. When I'm on the south side, I need to move it up by half the wall width. I'm gonna change this because it's just a little bit confusing. This is half a wall width. Okay. Should have just drawn it out. Should have just drawn it out. Half wall width. There we go. Ugly. My default tile and my default wall textures are hideous together. Let's load the town. Oh, it's so bad. You can't see that the outside is actually moss stone here. Which is interesting. Inside's default wall. Moss stone. Yeah, it's telling me that the rendering is interesting. The south wall and the east wall, sorry, the south wall and the west walls are not being drawn properly. Go all the way to the edge and go back, go all the way to the bottom and go back 2 pixels, and I draw that there. I don't understand why this isn't working. Let's exaggerate it. See if we can figure that out. All right, load that. I need a better... Oh, it's just... It is drawing both. Fascinating. Even with the exaggeration, I can see that it's drawing... This one should be default wall. Oh, it's just choosing the wrong texture. The opposite. Oh, I need to get the second texture. I'm just saying it to draw the same texture twice. That's what's going on. This texture too. All right, easy. Opposite. Opposite. There we go. I was just not actually selecting the correct thing. There we go. Now we can see it. The default floor texture is hideous, so that's why it's really hard to tell there. Do I have a better... Oh, I thought I could. Now it's not letting me change the floor. Do I not have it? Oh, it's J. I set it to be J. If I do this, it's a little bit easier to see. I just need better textures. My wall textures, they're getting scaled down in a very hideous way. A flood fill would be nice to have here. If I make this thing bigger, you might be able to tell a little bit more as well. And maybe I just take a strip out of it rather than taking the whole texture. So it's taking the texture and it's scaling it down, it's squashing it. This looks okay though, ish. It's sort of what I wanted, but not, the colors are so bad in it. Mark, welcome to the stream. Happy Wednesday, my friend. I hope you're having a beautiful day. All right, let's go ahead and save town. But yeah, I can set each wall independently. Maybe now it's... Oh, it's because I'm tavern floor on this side. Let's set this to moss stone. So you'll see I can set the outside wall. What's interesting is, let's get rid of that wall. Moss stone here. So you'll notice the outside is green, and then I can set the inside. They're independent of each other. Like that. I got the programming part to work. The colors are horrible. Absolutely hideous. It might look a little bit better if I scale it up. So let's come into, I don't need this anymore. And I can just do dot keys. And I'm no longer, I might leave this code here. I know it's not being used by anything, but it's kind of useful to have. I'm thinking I want to draw a little rectangle around the whole wall or something as well to like make it pop out a little bit. I do think if we change the size of our cells, it will look a little bit better. I don't know if that's true. This isn't the program that I wanted. Program. My screen size. Where's my editor? Constants. Needs to be a little bit bigger. What are default resolution size? Let's do this window size. It looks a little bit better. The floor tile is just horrible. All right. It's a little bit better like that. I think the walls need to still be maybe a little thicker. Let's try putting a border around the walls. I think that might help. Bigger was better. We could, if we make it even bigger, might need to increase the screen size even further. Yeah, screen. The colors are so bad. The walls I might want to just apply. Yeah, I think I need to draw squares around it. I'm taking the whole texture and I'm squishing it to that size is the other problem. I think I might want to just take a strip out of the texture or sample it and find take an average color from it rather than doing just a full color. Maybe take an average color of the wall texture and then use that to draw. But yeah, this tile here is just not great. This tile here looks fine, but I think I need to draw a grid over everything. Oh yeah, it would need to be a little bit bigger. I'm gonna stick this to, what is it, 48 times 24, 1152. And it'd be 50. So I don't have enough space to do 48, size 48. Let's go with 32s. I want to do multiples of 2, so it'd be 8, 16, 32. Okay. So I think I'm going to put, the walls need to have, yeah, there needs to be a grid that gets drawn onto it, I think, so that you can sort of distinguish, really see things apart. Before, it wasn't that big of a deal. But we need to draw a little border, I think, around these. So let's go to our when we render here, we're going to take this rect info and we're going to draw a small border. Draw rectangle as well. And this will be a tile dot. Let's see, what is the rectangle again? What is its method? Width and height. Okay, perfect. Tile.source.x, tile.source.y, tile.width, hang on, this would be tile.target, sorry. Tile.target.width, tile.target.height. These all need to get cast to integers, they're floats. Color.black. Is there a draw raylib.draw rectangle X? This is what I want. This is what I want. Lance, thank you for the hat redeem. Let's get a hat added to this stack. Thank you so much. Happy Wednesday, my friend. Lance, how the heck have you been? Hope you're having a beautiful week. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Here we go. Here we go. This is what I want. So now we can do, we're gonna draw our tile.target. One and color.black here. Thank you for the hat redeemed, nameless coder. Let's go. Let's get another hat added to the stack. Getting that hat stack overflow attack. All right. Had some medical stuff. I'm glad you're doing better. I hope you're getting lots of rest, lots of relaxation. Let's see what this looks like when we draw this. That is much better. Our walls, I think, our walls are going to need to be thicker. Our walls need to be thicker so that they read a little better. But this, I feel like this reads better for sure. You can kind of distinguish, and the cool thing about this, I think we'll be able to, like drawing walls and stuff will feel a little bit better as well. The grid makes it nicer. Yeah, the walls definitely need to be thicker. It's an optical illusion. Definitely an optical illusion, I think. I think it's float to int rounding errors. Let's make our screen 1220 by 1000. 1080 would be too much. Our wall, let's go with 8. Yeah. It's an optical illusion. I see what you're saying. Like, I look at a spot and it kind of feels like they're moving. You have the weird optical illusion where in the very, very center, you see colors that are bleeding together in between. I see what you're saying. So there is like a weird optical illusion going on there. Absolutely, I see it. This is better. It looks pretty gross to look at. My triangle needs to be smaller now, so my cursor here, but you can actually see the texture you're putting on here. So if I were to switch to moss stone, you'll see I'm setting the moss stone here on just one half of the wall. Look around at them, they just look like they're moving, but I think it's a bug in the human yeah, there's definitely an optical illusion going on. And this really does show the issue with doing the wall thickness. You'll see that these corners on the outside walls are missing. This is a thing I was talking about. This is why doing the thin walls rather than thick walls was important in my code or inside. All right, so these dots need to be a little bit bigger as well to mark that there's a script here. It's really hard to tell. We're gonna move them down and over. There's some things we got to do here. The grid does help. I'm not sure if this is the right color for the grid, but it's not awful. Okay. it looks hideous for sure. I think that is just my choice of textures is bad. The wall colors getting squashed like this is not great. A toggle for turning it on and off. I think it looks, yeah, we could do that as well. Captain Anosa, welcome back to the stream. How you doing, friend? I hope you're having a beautiful day. We're gonna have to take a break here in just a moment. Pretty happy with what we have here. I'm wondering if our color, instead of being black, could be dark gray, if that would help. Oh, the jam doesn't start until Friday. There's not much time until the jam starts. There we go. I actually think that dark gray looks better. I'm actually building a tool to make it, it looked better against this color. Doesn't look good against this color though. Yeah, I have all the time in the world. I'm making a program to make a program right now. So this is all prep for the jam. Draw a cursor. So let's go to our cursor renderer. Cell size, padding. Here, let's add 8 pixels of padding. The gray looks better, I think, overall. Yeah, this is us building the dungeon crawler builder. We're making a dungeon crawler builder is what's going on. All right. So this one's hard to tell that there's a door there, but you can't, there is a door. I'm not sure if I like that. I need a better, need like a color. I'm wondering if I apply a mild tint. Here, I'm gonna change this to rect info. What is the green walls? Yeah, so that is, I'll show you. You can see it when in the actual program. Let's launch the engine. So we have green walls. So that's the green wall. And so I'm wanting it to show so you can see what walls are actually what textures. It looks much better here. So if I were to pull up, let's launch this again. Is this currently running? It's not. All right, let's launch our editor again. So you can see it. It honestly, yeah, like quite a bit. We'll probably end up with about 200 games, 160 or so games. Oh, Mark, I didn't read your whole text there yet, and they're all from Captain Coder. Yeah, so the game, all of the information, is just a 2-dimensional grid, right? So let me get this a little bit over. Let me zoom out a little bit. So this is our map here. And we can see that there's a wall here. We can have different walls on each side. So that I was trying to make it so you could distinguish the walls on each side in the editor. So you would, at a glance, see what's going on with it. There's that. Yeah. So that was the idea here. This is an outdated map. The tiles were different previously, but I changed the tiles so you could see a little bit better here. All right, so the tile that's actually here is our, I believe, default tile. So this is the floor tile that's actually in each one of these positions. Yeah, like that. Yeah, so this is what we have. So we're building an editor for the jam. I feel like my wall, I should add a, just darken up the wall in general. Because it's the texture, but it's squished. It might make sense to add a dark tint to it. I don't know. Okay. I'm pretty happy with what we have here. Let's do a commit. Add colors to walls based on texture. The one thing I'm not fully satisfied with is this color. I want it to be dark. Black was too much. I could do a new color. Can I give it a string? No, I can't. I can give it an RGBA. Okay. Let's do 40, 40, 40, 255. This a class or a struct? This is not a struct. I need to. It's a struct. Okay. Okay, that looks good here. And good here. Okay. So it's sort of in between. Black was too much, but gray, this really dark gray, I think makes it fit pretty nicely. Captain Uno says, I had a Game Boy called Faceball 2000. Game Boy game. It reminds me so much of this. I haven't heard of that. Faceball. I really like this one. Okay. Let's increase this dot size while I'm here. You can barely see this dot. Let's increase that while I'm here. And change the color of it. So that is in our dungeon editor. Render scripted tiles. Let's move it in 8, 8. Let's make it a dark purple. And we'll make it bigger for, see what that looks like. It's just telling me that there's a scripted event here. Nameless Coder, have a beautiful day. Thank you for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time. There we go. Yeah, just telling us that there's a scripted event in this position. I think we could just center it in the tile. I don't think there's a reason not to do that. Plus cell size divided by 2. Plus cell size divided by 2. And then we'll take a break here. There we go. Not bad. Not bad for a little editor. I think clicking to draw the tiles would be super helpful. Having like a flood fill too, but clicking to draw the tiles will be super helpful. For walls, there'll be maybe something else. I'm not sure. now that we have the rectangle information about tiles, it shouldn't be that hard to do. Let's get a commit in here. Let's do a format. And then we're going to push this on up. Feet, render wall textures in editor. Okay, let's do a pull request. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll merge this in. We'll get the next one. It's going to run here for another minute or so. So hang tight, everybody. Captain Code will return. Don't go anywhere. Coming right back at you. Braxton, welcome back to the stream. And Ryan, happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a beautiful day. All right, we're going to hop into some stretches. Then we're going to get back into our coding. See if we can maybe implement one more feature before I have to get to work. But I'm happy. We're making a lot of progress. That's right, Sidrin, we're 10Xing it. We're 10Xing it for sure. All right, folks, let's get some stretches in because, look, Captain Coder loves you. It means you should love you. You got to take care of that body. And one way you can do that is by getting up and getting some stretches with me. So stand on up. I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna encourage you. I'm gonna implore you. I'm gonna engorge you. Stand on up with me. We're gonna do some stretches. Start with a nice trunk twist, lower trunk twist here. Take those arms, put them up to the side, slowly back and forth, back and forth. Might get a little pop or two in there. Don't hurt yourself, but really focusing on getting that little, oh yeah, that stretch. And you're keeping your shoulders sort of straight with your arms here. You're not, but it's all in the trunk twist here. All right, now put those arms up. We're gonna lean to the left. And then we're gonna lean to the right. Getting some nice stretching in here. Getting that blood flowing a little bit. Taking care of ourselves, taking care of our bodies. Oh yeah, just like that. Nice and easy, back and forth, nice and simple. Just taking it nice, easy, self-care. Excellent, excellent. Oh, let's get some shoulder rolls in next. Take those shoulders, move them up, back, down, roll them back. 2, 3, 4. Add the elbows, yeah. 2, 3, 4. Full arms. 2, 3, 4. Roll them forward. 2, 3, 4. Add the elbows. 2, 3, 4. Full arms. 2, 3, 4. Oh, shake it out. Shake it out. Some nice, simple stretches. Just getting that blood flowing, taking care of ourselves the way we deserve to be taken care of. For joining me in that 125 points to all you beautiful people. We're going to hop back in here. Render some wall textures in the editor. We just got this in. We passed here. Let's go ahead and merge this in. We're going to select another task to work on next. Thank you for being here, CodeMug. No, thank you. Check out our main branch here. We'll go ahead and pull that down. We're going to get rid of... what was that? Oh, it's saying arena. I was like, there's some crazy file name there. Get branch. Go ahead and delete this branch here. Okay. And we want to select what we're going to do next. What do we want to do next? What is that? We got a lot of things to choose from. What can we get done in about an hour, 30 minutes to an hour? I do want to take this dialogue thing is going to be really important because we got to think about how do we have dialogue scripts do dialogue. That might be the main work that we do during the actual jam. We're going to need like player hit point stuff. We have that. How do we render that stuff on the screen? What does it look like? Do we add support into our scripting language for doing arbitrary rendering on the screen? I'm not sure. Skydriver says, Captain, you're so handsome without, but I bet the ladies here agree that you look more handsome with a hat. Thank you for the hat, Redeem. Let's get a hat. Boom. Added to the stack. Thank you so much for the hat, Redeem, Skydriver. I appreciate you. One thing I think we could do, and I know it'll be nice to have, is this fast transitional movement. So we have instant movement, and then we can have transitional movement. So you click it, and you'll see the camera slide. We'll lerp into the position. When you rotate, we lerp to the new rotation. I think we could implement this in the time we have remaining. The other thing that might be useful to add is getting and setting textures from script. We could definitely do this one. That's not as fun. This one is going to be a lot of work. I don't know that we'll actually add that. This one will be a lot of work as well. Height map. Someone actually made a post on this. So Unity Coder, thank you, saying that we could actually generate this information from the albedo, probably using light and dark. This is a cool thing here. We could probably implement object pulling. This I want to know how to do. I'm not sure how to do that yet. Layers would be pretty easy to add. So we could turn on and off. Ooh, that's an option. Turn that on and off. Running a script from a script would be good. We're not going to do diagonal walls this jam, but something to consider after. We might keep working on it a little bit. Local tile data would be a good one. That one is possible. That one's going to take probably more than an hour, though. So we got to write some unit tests for it. We could do this abstraction. This would be a good one to have, too. All right. All of this said, I think we're going to do the switch between instant movement and fast transitional movement. I think this is going to be the issue. I think we can get this done in the time remaining. Let's go ahead and create a branch for this. It's been on here a long time, and this will, I know a lot of people last year complained that we didn't have this in our submission. So I think it'll be nice to have this. It's going to be part of the Unity project. Let's get the Unity project building here. So it has the latest stuff. In our player camera modes, so we have instant transition to player view. We need to add in a new camera mode. And this camera mode, rather than instantly transforming to a position, does a lerp transition to player view. So it takes the previous, so this is the transform that we're moving. This is where we want to be. And we need to lerp to it. There's a few things when we do teleportations and stuff, we need to not lerp. So we only want to lerp if the position is where we were previously. So we need to know some information about where we were and where we are now. And so for now, let's do a public static. I think this might need to be a coroutine because it's not something that can happen. Boom, you call and it happens. I think this might need to, it either needs to be a coroutine or start a coroutine. And so I actually think I want to make this be a coroutine. And when we're in the mode that does camera lerp transition to player view, we have the transform that we are modifying. We need to have our to and from position. So player view, exit, player view, enter. So we are leaving this position, we're moving into this position. So we're gonna lerp those positions. Okay. And so we're gonna say, well, so yield break for now, just to make this thing, can I not do a yield break? Oh, we need the non-generic version. For Unity wants the non-generic version. We want to lerp between two positions. This is our start and end. I could call this start and end. Start, end. And then I suppose we should have a float that here that says duration. Duration. And let's go with the default as 0.1, so a tenth of a second. Needs to be fast. Needs to be fast. But we could potentially have it so you specify the position. Okay. So the actual lerp, it's going to be a vector 2. So we need to do a vector 3, sorry, dot lerp. We're going to lerp between two positions, A, B, and T, the two positions. So we need to get two vector 3s, and then the float, which is a percentage. So we have start vec. All right, so I am gonna call this exit, enter. We'll have a start, and then we'll have a percentage here, T. We need to do a vector 3 start. We need to convert our player view into a vector 3. So it's going to be our exit dot position. Do we have a 2? I'm surprised we don't have a 2 vector here. Let's go into our crawler. Yeah, we should have this have a position that needs a 2 vector on this. We're going to add a public static class position extensions. Okay, and then here public static vector 3 2 vector. Then I don't have to put this code all over the place. This position, and it's just going to go to a new vector 3 of position y 0 position dot x position. There we go. Okay, so up here there's a refactor where we actually don't need transform to position is going to be equal to our view dot position dot 2 vector. We can do that. Now we don't have to worry about pulling that information out. Okay, so our start is this. Our end is this. And the amount of time that's passed is we can do float start. I guess we could just have a T. Yeah. The duration here is 0.1. Float start time. Let me think about this. So we're gonna have a let float T equals 0. Well, T is less than 1. We are going to do transform.position is equal to this lerp. And then we increase T by the amount of time that has, not the amount of time, but T needs to be updated here. T equals some new value. And then we're going to do a yield new wait. Yield return new wait for end of frame. So that's just going to wait until the end of the frame. So this will start a coroutine that's going to basically animate. Going to do this lerp for us. Lerp transition to player view. Okay. We can make one of these ahead of time so we don't have to construct a new one each time. And we can make a constant of it. Public static. I'm surprised they don't have a shared one. They're not a constant for this. Yeah, because it creates a new. All right. I'm surprised they don't have a constant of it. Public read only. What is the type of this thing? Yield instruction. Static. Yield instruction. Wait for end of frame. wait for end of frame like this. I'm surprised I don't have one of those. Smab, great to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. We're cooking. We're cooking here. This new workflow that you have, inspire is not even the right word, that helped me to implement. You've done more than just inspire it. You have helped me be a better programmer by doing it. So I really appreciate that. I'm gonna make this the actual elapsed time. And I want to do elapsed time plus equals time dot delta time. I'm not sure that it is the correct thing to do here. Just move my playground site to .NET 9 Preview 2 so I can play around. I'm really excited for some of the things that are coming .NET 9. And Dances with Dirt, congratulations on number 16. It's wonderful to have you here. Okay. So I'm going to create a float % is going to be equal to our elapsed time divided by our duration. And then we're just going to put this up here, %. Okay. Dan's Wizard, I just downloaded Godot.net. I don't know C# yet. I really like Godot. I like how lightweight Godot is. I just am sad that they don't have working web builds with C#. GDScript is actually quite fantastic. Man, thank you for the learn C# there. I really should switch that to just say do the player's guide because my website's a mess right now. Replit has essentially rendered my site almost unusable. And so I should really update this, just recommend the C# player's guide. So I'm just, let's delete this command. Delete, can I delete this message? How do I delete that message? Can I not delete my own messages? That's interesting. Yeah, so I'm gonna recommend the C# player's guide, fantastic book. Just so good, so good. Yeah, my website's broken right now. So I'm gonna have to spend some time fixing that at some point. I'm just not so inspired for it. Dalai, welcome to the stream. Hey, Captain Carter, first time here. Can you tell me more about this game jam? Sure thing. I'm super excited about it. It starts on Friday. So I'm building tools for the game jam. I'm building a tool to make dungeon crawlers. That's what I'll say. So here is the game jam itself. The game jam is to create a first-person grid-based dungeon crawler. So the classic dungeon, some of the first computer games ever were these dungeon crawler games. So Bard's Tale, Eye of the Beholder was a later one. Worlds of Xeen, Might and Magic games. Might and Magic Worlds of Xeen is one of my favorite ones. And so the idea is you want to make a game in about a week. We have 9 days on this one that has this first Ultima Underworld. Yeah, Ultima Underworld. That one's not grid based. That one I think you have free movement. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Ultima Underworld is a good first person dungeon crawler. So I don't think that one would fit into this, but the idea here is to make a game that does that has this type of, the core requirements is your game has to have this style of movement. Grid-based, you can have 3D games as well, but grid-based is the important part. I am building tooling for it to create I'm writing an engine because I have to make everything as complex as possible for creating games with the wall textures. I'm getting Wolfenstein vibes. Yeah. So it's a 2D game that is often rendered into a 3D world. The SSI games, yeah. So let me show you what I have here. So this is my map. Excuse the horrible colors. So I'm building a map editor. So the entire game can be thought of as a 2D game, but you have perspective. So the player would be facing a specific direction and can move in those directions. They interact with the world, and then you sort of see it as a 3D rendering. So if I were to come over to, I keep closing it. I should stop doing that. I should just leave it open here. And maybe I should publish this. People could actually go play what I have so far. Just like this for fun. This can be an option to participate. Yeah, do it. Do it. Even if you end up not finishing, you'll learn a ton. You'll make something new. But yeah, I'm writing an engine for defining a game, and then I have Unity as a renderer. So my game gets rendered out this way currently. You'll notice I have just like some template texture placeholders. Our artist will hopefully make some really cool textures for us. So this is what I have so far. Mine has scripting events too. So I'm making it so you can write scripts using Lua to interact and make the game world update and modify. But I'm having a blast doing this. Quite a bit. Thank you for the follow. Oi Su Dalai. Let me know if I'm pronouncing it right. Have you met Dalai? They have followed me today, you know. Usu Dalai, thank you for following me today. But yeah, we're working on a dungeon crawler editor right now. The jam starts on Friday, so I'm hoping to have a mostly implemented editor so that I don't have to focus too much on like, how do I do the movement? How do I make my map? How do I get this stuff to work? Once the theme comes out, we can adjust from there. But I want to use this. I'm making a tool to make things with it. You can call me Dalai. Awesome. I'm from Brazil and my nickname is Portuguese Heavy. Gotcha. Am I pronouncing Dalai correctly? Welcome to the crew, my friend. Happy to have you here. Let me give you permission real quick. If you have any links to the stuff you're working on, feel free to send it along. You can also share it on our Discord. I love checking the stuff out that people are making, especially I'm into old school games. Really, I'm into old school games. Yeah, this is like Christmas for me working on this. All right, I think I have this. Let's go into our crawler mode. And I want to, what's interesting is I need to, there's going to be some weirdness in this, but let's do this real quick. When we do our crawler mode here, crawling, I have a weird naming problem here. Crawling mode controller. Player camera, instant transition. When we move, we need to, the other thing is in my crawler modes here, I didn't update my camera. For now, I'm just going to have this be instant. This would be our enter. So be a little bit of a to-do here. Scorched Earth is such a fun game. Someone, who was it? Someone was making a Scorched Earth-like game in Raylib. I saw them on stream. Oh man, who was it? I can't remember their name. I followed them. I've been over there a few times. They usually stream retro games, but they have a dev channel as well. I wish I could remember their name. They were doing really, really cool stuff with that. Enter. We're gonna have to do a lerp on this as well. So we'll do a lerp between these positions. This actually won't be that hard to implement. You know what? Let's just do this. We also want to do a transform.rotation equals quaternion.lerp. We're gonna lerp between two quaternions. Start Q and Q %. Like this. Okay. Oh, Worms was the original Scorched Earth clone, right? Or I guess, I don't know, what came first, Worms or Gorillas? Is Quaternion in Raylib? No. Maybe. You know what? Right now I'm in Unity land. I know that Raylib has support for doing 3D stuff, 3D animation and stuff. I would be surprised if Quaternion wasn't in there, but I'm not sure. Raylib, let's go to their cheat sheet. They don't have Quaternion, but they do have rotations in Vector 3. So in their 3D mode, it looks like they use that Vector 3s for the rotation information. So the answer is no, there's no reference to a Quaternion in Vector in there. All right, so here, our start, this should be a get. All right, we'll create a thing here. Mako or Mako? Mako makes a game. What game are you making? Mako, tell us all about it, my friend. All right, so I want to get a Quaternion. Final Fantasy VII, is it? You know, you'd think I would know that. No problem, Dance of the Dirt, my pleasure. Thank you guys for hanging out. Mako? Let me know how I pronounce it. I'm not sure. Roses are red, violets are blue. Syntax error on line 32. Oh man, I want to write a. That makes me want to write a compiler. A programming language that says on line 32, if you get that, it'll print that poem out, have a bunch of little, edgy's not the right word, but facetious poems for different line numbers. That if you get a line, an error on it, it'll say that one there. Sidrin, what a hilarious poem. What a hilarious joke there. Points, and Sidrin, that made me laugh. 120 points, my friend. Rhyming error messages, yeah, that would be fun. Quaternion. Given a player view, or I guess I should be a facing, to Quaternion, facing, it'd be a this facing. We are going to do this here. All right, it just becomes facing instead. It doesn't like Quaternion here for some reason. Ambiguous reference between Uniquaternion and system.numerics. So I accidentally imported system numerics. Okay. So be just facing here. Mako. Okay. You got it. No, now I think I did Mako. I'm just going to go with Mako. I've said it a couple different ways. I do this to myself all the time. So now I should be able to do facing dot to Quaternion. Simple. Simplify it. Okay. So now we can have our quabity equals exit dot facing dot to Quaternion. Our end Q is our enter to Quaternion. Now we have this little thing here. All right, beautiful. Okay. All right. Now in our crawling mode, I need to. There's going to be some here. I can be a little bit. Let's create a private coroutine question mark. It's gonna be our private coroutine current transition, and we're gonna be null by default. So current transition. The current transition is gonna be equal to coroutine.start or start coroutine. And well, actually, we should just start in this position. Okay. On view change, and create a method here. Private void handle move transition. And this is going to take in a view change event. View change event. And this is just going to be our handle move transition. And what we can do, we'll have a toggle that selects one of these. It's going to be off for now, but we'll do our player camera dot. What did I call it? Lerp transition to player view. And this is going to take in our event dot exited, event dot entered. Is that it? And we got to do a start coroutine. And we'll have some configuration. All right, folks, let's see how we did. Let's build it. Can't possibly be right on the first try, can it? Oh, one other thing we got to do. We actually do transition coroutine is this. We need to do current transition dot stop. Oh, is there not a stop coroutine? Stop coroutine. Can I give, if I pass in a null here? I'm curious what this will do if I pass in null. Let's see what happens. This is not what I meant to do. All right, let's build it. If we build it, we might be able to. Boom! That's right. That's what I'm expecting to happen here. You know, when something works on the first try, you know, that's how you know something really terrible happened. If it blows up on the first try, you're like, okay, I wasn't expecting it to work on the first try. I'm sure I got something wrong. So I feel like a refactor needs to happen here. I should really think I'm gonna fork this project when the jam starts and then come back to it. It's gonna be nasty when the jam starts. All right, coroutine is null. I should have known. I should have known. If coroutine current transition not equal to null. All right, I should have known. All right, so it didn't work the first time, so we're probably okay. We're probably okay, right? You got to add a bug in there on the first try, so that way you can feel like, okay, I figured out what I did wrong. Come on, Unity. All right, here we go. We'll have to add in an options menu for switching between. That's right, there you go. Okay. So we have movement. It feels pretty good. Okay. I'm happy with this. I'm pretty sure we'd be able to get that done. It feels weird going through doors. No queue. There's no queue. It cancels the previous. So let me see if I can tap it really fast. It just cancels the original animation and jumps directly to the second one. So there's no queue. It just cancels the previous animation. And jumps immediately to the next one. There's something weird about the rotation. I know what it is. There's one bug here. There is one little bug that is here. Okay, I'll try turning it opposite direction. There is one little bug here. At the very end, we need to do this one more time. This should actually be a do. No, that's not quite right. I need to, when we leave, do this one more time with 100%. So the rotation is stopping just a hair early. So there was one little bug here. Let's get this back into Unity. I don't know if you guys could see it, but when I'd finish the turn and I'd step forward, there's like finishing the transition to be back all the way facing. It should work with strafing as well, which is a cool thing. Well, that's loading, though. I can show you in the queue, it just cancels here. So this is where it's canceling the previous animation. So it cancels the previous animation and just will jump to the next one. So if you manage to, this is why it's important to have that speed be low. The transition be a really fast transition. You would see it a lot more if I slowed it down. All right, let's try. Wouldn't you be able to achieve the same with not less than or equal to 1? No, because it's probably actually the case where the 1 is like 1.7. So it goes from like 0.99 to like 0.9 to 0.107 because it's a double there. Yeah. So this works out pretty well. You can see it breaking. Here, I can show you it breaking in a second. It's really hard. If we move back and forth, it's kind of cool. The strafe works as well. If I slow down the transition, you'll see the cancellation better. So in our crawling mode, let's make the transition be slow. I'm going to put it at 1 second. You'll be able to see the transition now. This is cool. This is great how easy this was. We should add in a menu somewhere. Maybe we have time to add in a menu where we can toggle between the two transition modes. And then maybe make it so you can set it. But you'll see that there's no queuing happening. It just cancels and moves to the next one. You'll be able to see it a lot better on this next one here. And now people will stop saying your game looks like it's really laggy. The instant transition was fooling people who haven't played this style of game yet. I thought the rotation was going to look weird because my camera's kind of further back. So you see now I have a slow-mo transition. You'll see if I press it fast, you can like see it jump because it's canceling the last animation and just moving to the last animation that we're doing. So it's important to have the animation be super slow. Oh, sorry, super fast. When it's slow, it feels weird. So now, if I tap it back and forth, you notice it. Okay. So having that transition speed be quick is important. We might even want to make it a little bit shorter. Yeah, so I just cancel it so that you don't get the input delay. But it's fast enough that you don't even notice. I'm quite happy with that. I'm getting pretty good at this programming thing. Oh, there's no... Yeah. So it just cancels the last animation. So you can press it as fast as you want. How long have you been at it? 28 years. I actually think I like the previous speed better. It's like too fast now. Grumpy, how you doing, friend folks? If you guys don't know the Grumpy game dev. Is Grumpy the command? There it is. Incredible game developer. Incredible software engineer, actually. Teaching me how to be a better programmer. If you want someone who makes retro style games, he's going to be participating in the game jam as well. Be sure to check him out. All right, this feels pretty good. I'm about to get out of the junior level. Yeah, I've been doing game dev for like 2 years, and you know, I need to preface that with I have been working on increasing game dev. Sorry, I've been working on and getting better at game dev, like actually focusing on doing some game dev stuff the last 2 years. Since last January. And I'm kind of, I've just been having so much fun. I've dabbled in it, making little games, but never really went into the world of game dev that much. Grumpy, I'm really happy with this. How much of the, Grumpy, if you have some time, I'd love to show you what I've made so far. Because I'm having a real blast doing this. Speed about modes of movement was interesting. Cordandors. Quite happy with this. If you can actually pay attention, Grumpy, I'd love to show you some stuff. But I think you're probably working or getting ready to work. I always appreciate you coming in, my friend. All right, folks, for being here to witness this. We got this working pretty quick. Add all 125 points. Everyone, you got 20 minutes. Okay, I'll be quick. So I don't know how much of this you've seen, but in traditional Captain Coder style, I have, I'm not just making a single game. I have to make it as complex as possible. So, you've seen none of it. All right, so I am actually making a dungeon crawler engine. I'm creating a dungeon crawler engine. Okay. And Unity is the renderer for that engine, right? Of course I'm overcoming it. So, we have a dungeon crawler engine where I can create projects, my test crawler here. We have the dungeon editor. So here we have a dungeon editor where we can make our maps. Okay, so I can load up a map. This is the town that we just saw. In different positions, so we can set the walls. The walls are paper thin, but they have different textures. So if I wanted to change the texture here, I could modify the textures of my floors here. I can add new ones here. Jupiter has a set of tools similar, I believe. Yeah, but these are mine. These are my tools. So if I wanted to change to the moss stone as my floor here, I can set my moss stone as a floor tile here like this. Without using it. Is it possible to dot the graphic models without using a game engine? I'm not sure. I think there's a typo on dot. I don't know if better is the right word or not. Possible to do the models without using a game engine. Yeah, so the... so the entire output becomes a JSON file at the end of the day. So I'll show you what happens. So we'll do this here. These are obviously better. There you go. There you go. Now we know. All right, so we can change the walls as well. All right, so this would be a moss wall. The thing that I'm really proud of, yeah, so the graphics render, I'm just using Unity as a graphics render because it's what I kind of know how to use right now. I don't know how to do 3D and anything else. We can add scripts. So this is the part. So the game is actually scriptable in Lua. So let's add a script here. Let's come into my save data test crawler. We're gonna add a script. Let's create a script called grumpy.lua. And we're just gonna have it do a context.write info. Hello, Grumpy. Grumpy like this. Okay, and there's different things. Context has quite a few different things we can do right now. Set player facing, so we could like rotate the player in some random direction. Ooh, let's have it rotate random direction. Randdir. We'll do randdir is equal to math.random between 0 and 3. These are the random directions that you can go in. So when we move into this position, we're gonna randomly rotate the player here. Is lowercase, did you mean local or global variable? Oh, it wants these things to be that way. All right, we'll do this. So we have this Grumpy script now. So what I'm gonna do is when I step into this position, you get to be an NPC, of course. Of course. What button? All right, so let's add an event here. When we enter this position, we're gonna run the Grumpy script. Let's make it really annoying here. We'll run the Grumpy script in each one of these positions when you enter it to make things really confusing. Really confusing. All right. And so let's go ahead and save this map. And then let's build our project here. This build does a thing, but really I need to do it from the command line. All right, bash build. This generates a JSON file that my program now knows to load. Notice no C# scripts change, so it doesn't have to modify anything. I hit run here. Now it's gonna, I think it should load up. Dangerous go alone, take this, flips the bird. All right, so now I have it. So notice my game tiles have changed here. Hello, Grumpy. It's causing every time I do a move in these spots. How annoying is this? It randomly rotates you in a direction. We can make, oh, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna make it so in the bar, you can get drunk. And then as you're walking around, if you're drunk, you just keep randomly changing directions. I know you can't, maybe you can't tell, but it is just randomly rotating me about here. All right, so I do like that. Yeah, so I've built a little bit of things. So I've been working on this for a little bit more than 2 weeks at this point in preparation for the game jam. So when the game jam comes, I can just focus, hopefully, and of course this isn't gonna be true, they focus on making the game. I know. I have plans for some. I have Super Dan's probably listening, so I don't want to spoil too much. But I have plans for some Easter eggs. Ooh, that's a fun idea too. Oh, of course, Grumpy, of course, yeah. There's Super Dan. I'm not gonna say anything more, but I have some ideas here. But yeah, so we can actually do that. So that's it. That's essentially what we have so far, Grumpy. I've been having fun getting Lua scripts to execute. Let's do the let's build this for web. Let's make sure everything still works in the web build. This takes like 7 minutes to build. So we're gonna build this. Art, welcome back to the stream. My level editor, and this is inspiring. Glad to have you here, Art. Everyone, my stream's probably gonna get crazy. Maybe I shouldn't build this for web. I bet everything's gonna get real slow. My computer gets real slow, so hang tight while this is going through. Also, while this is building, folks, don't forget to check out Art Berkless. Incredible. If you like this first-person style of dungeon crawler, Art's making a first-person hack and slash game. You see it up there in the corner, called The Warlock's Gauntlet. Gotta go check it out. He's not only making this game, he's making the engine for this game from scratch in C++. It's an incredibly cool place to hang out. Art, are you feeling better? I think you said you weren't feeling well. And when is your trip? If I missed something in chat, feel free to at me again. But I've been having a blast with this. So we have a map editor. There's several things that I need to add to it. I'm trying to follow a good workflow. Oh, also Grumpy, if you're still here, we have let's do a pull request. Did I push this up? Get status. I didn't add this yet. Get add unity git commit -m feat implements transitional camera. I'm gonna push that up. Oh yeah, this thing is super tested. I don't know if that's true actually, but we have code coverage and everything on it. So let's run these tests. You've taught me so much, Grumpy. We've been doing some good tests down here. My test suite is quite good. We have 218 tests. And they follow the style that we've been working on in our TDD streams. Dungeon should get default wall texture, not be equals when different tile texture. So we have some legitimately good. We've been following some good practices on this. We also have it set up when we do these pull requests. We get some diagnostic information. So I cannot merge into main until these tests pass. Art, I'm glad to hear you're doing better. It's in July, August. Okay. I couldn't remember when it was. For some reason, I thought it was happening sooner than that. But that's going to be a super fun trip. So thank you for all of your inspiration on this. Additionally, we do get the coverage results as well. So let's see if this will run. Isn't about the number of tests though. To do it correctly, you will end up with lots of tests. It isn't about the I know it's not about, though if you're doing it right, you'll have high coverage. Yeah, so it's going to show you the coverage. I'm not going for full coverage, but it helps us identify. Why do you hate freedom? It helps us, in my mind, it helps us identify where things are missing, right? I want to add mutation tests to my workflow as well. Let's do a .NET Serve here. And open up. We can see the coverage. So you'll notice it's not amazing coverage. Oh, actually, that's way more than I thought it was. That's interesting. That's really interesting. This can't be right. Something's not right. Console, Dungeon Crawler, IO. Oh, the editor's not in here. The editor's not well scripted, but the logic behind this stuff is. So we have some good coverage on these things. How do you include the test in pull procedure? So I'm using a GitHub action. Gandalf led dev. I see that you use Lua. May ask, why do you use it? It's a good question. I've actually kind of fallen in love with Lua for a few reasons. I actually thought I wasn't going to like Lua because I'm not a huge fan of Python and JavaScript and dynamically typed languages. Lua has a very small feature set. It's focused on being minimal. One way to write things. It worms your way into your heart, yeah, but it has a small set of very powerful features. So the table, basically, I always say dictionaries are kind of the most powerful data structure. They do anything. If you have a problem, you can't solve it, throw a dictionary at it. It'll probably help you solve it. If you still can't solve it, throw another dictionary. 2 dictionaries, you can probably solve it. Or make things overly complex, one of those 2 things. Okay. This one makes sense that the crap score is so high because it's just a bunch of ifs ands. So I am using Lua as a scripting language. Is the other thing. That is nice. Do you have a blog on how you set up that report and how you make GitHub not allow you? I have a blog. I do have a blog. I'm hoping this year I'm gonna start. I want to start writing a few blog posts a month. So you'll see the World's Worth blog. Not so updated, not so up to date, but I'd like to do some stuff here. Junicus, welcome back to the stream. It's great to see you. But I would like to do this. Can't solve it. Let another solve it. Yeah. So one thing I like here as well is in this feature. After the build, it produces a summary of the test results and the test coverage results as well. That's right before I started streaming. Yeah, so this is right before I started streaming. This was actually the first thing I ever streamed, refactoring a chess program. This was practice to learn how to stream. And then this was after I did Advent of Code, was the next thing I blogged, and I haven't done anything. But I would like to start writing some blog posts. Streaming is blog. It's kind of vlogging, but less directed, you know? All right, so our WebGL build finished. Yeah, I think Junicus, I think that's a really good idea to talk about it. Someone blogs for you while you're streaming. Real pro move. All right, so .NET Serve here. Like the local cable access TV version of blogging. It's true. All right, so does our web build still work? It's always important to check the web build because it doesn't always work. It does. All right, it looks like it's still working. We still have our random, there it was. I just got lucky that it wasn't rotating me to a different facing. We got the random rotations. Hashtag check that web build. Oh, also Grumpy, I don't know if I showed you this. I have a in-game terminal Yeah, why is the fresh air hugging you? Yeah, so that's a little bit of a scripting thing. It shows the message for 5 seconds and there's like a queue on the messages. So that's a little thing. I think a bump would be good. But we have an inline or in-game script runner. So we can do set wall none. Boom. So we can get rid of our walls like this. Set wall solid. Secret door. There's our secret door. So we have that. We can tell context that I don't have any other really working dungeons, but we can change dungeons. So you can test out stuff here. 0, 0, 0, 0 north. Once you completely write the game without the web build and save it off to play later, ship it. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. There's going to be a script that teleports as you appear in a different location. So this is just like a randomly generated dungeon here. Art says, in-game terminal, I need one of those. First time I saw one is in Quake 1 where it was available to users. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Terminal power is Zoo still lurking? Probably. And that is a perfect console for cheats because I want tons of cheats. Yeah, so basically anything you can do, context.player view. All right, so we can do a return. There's our player position. We can access, we can interact with the game state this way. There's some things I want to add here, but we've made some good progress. Terminal power. Yeah. Having a blast with this. Having a blast with it. But we can turn that on and off. Context.change dungeon town 0, 0. So. There we go. The teleport is surprisingly okay for the map transitions. I was thinking I want to have a beautiful day, Grumpy. Keep coding, keep growing, keep being amazing. I'll see you tomorrow, my friend. Have a beautiful day. Has to be God command that shoots a 1 pixel fireball that is all powerful. Yeah, so there's no enemies or anything yet in my game, so I got to figure that out. I'm quite happy with the progress. Oh yeah, we got the drunk script here. Okay. Let's get this merged in. Should really write a blog about it. There's no time. No time. This summer, maybe I'll be a little bit more able to. We finally got this in. Get checkout main. We're going to go ahead and pull. Get branch. Delete that here. Okay. All right. We did it, folks. I meant to ask. I forgot to ask earlier. We got to raid out of here. Suggestions, people. Tell us who we should raid. I've been liking raiding new streamers. People are new to streamer, new game dev. I want to keep it in game dev or C#, because that's what we're doing here. Maybe some Lua. But if you have suggestions, let me know. I usually try and send someone out to try and find someone ahead of time. It's great to see one very experienced person learn from one even more experienced when the subject is still understandable to us relative beginners. Sort of stuff that reduces imposter syndrome. Yeah, so I think one of the things that's really cool, I get this comment frequently. It's like, oh, it's great to see you struggle. And I've been programming for 28 years, right? We rated some of these people last time. Who we got? We rated Sticks. Risky Biscuit we haven't rated in a little while. I do like to try and raid new people too. How was the Pac-Man game was pretty good. Finished is a strong word. It's playable game. It's a playable game. We raided Full Box the other day. Full Box is fantastic. I'm not saying we can't raid Full Box again. Them biscuits do be risky. Here is Capman. So it's a fully playable game. Let's wait for this to load. The project's still loading here. So I can show you Capman. Also, folks, don't forget that this project is open source. If you want to make contributions, if you want to see the issues, if you want to read through what's going on and follow the project, you can come over here. Submit issues, see what we're still working on. These are the things that we have to finish, or that I'd like to finish. Click that star if you want. Click that watch if you want. Let me know how you think about it. Catman. But yeah, I'll show you Catman. All the art and stuff for it isn't finished, but it is a playable game. But we need more pixel art and stuff to make it fully finished, fully realized, I should say. Yeah, I will look at the GitHub Actions that do this test summary. I really enjoyed that GitHub Actions. So here's Catman, and you got to get the full experience. So I'm going to turn the desktop audio on. So we have a Catman game here. We can go full screen here. Ooh, I got Proton. Let's get another hat added to the stack. Thank you for the hat redeem. Boom, Proton. I hope you've been well, my friend. But yeah, this is Catman. That Waka Waka. It's me saying welcome. Here, Proton. I hope you've been well. So you can collect hats. So you get a projectile you can shoot. The enemies can still kill you when they're in this mode. They just don't chase you. So if you run into them, you still get got. But you can destroy the enemies with it. But you have to hit them. So I can defeat the enemies like that, and then you can pick it up to shoot it again. You can only shoot it once. You have to go pick it up. And the idea is this is a hat. This is a bowler's cap. A bowler hat. Bowler cap. I'm not sure. And if you get all the dots... It's hard to watch the chat at the same time. Get all the dots. It does transition to a new level, and the game speeds up a little bit. So the ghosts, the end. Uh-oh. And then we get a game over there. Yeah, 007 Hatman. That's right. Bally's out here getting capped by Catman. Yeah, so we have that. We have the sound on, off. We have a restart option. So we did finish. Finish is a strong word. We made a game that is playable. That's what I'll say. We made a game that is playable. Finished is relative, but it's a playable game, and I had a blast doing it. I'm gonna get you. That's right. So let's see if we can find someone to raid here. Get out of here. Microtransactions. That's right. So I do like to try and raid people that are new here. Low numbers are always a good raid. Mako, have a beautiful day. We'll be back tomorrow, folks. We'll be back tomorrow. Klaxon is making a really interesting. I know who to raid. However, he is on trip to get food and not programming, but he is a homeless Gandalf living in a tent. Wow, that would be an interesting person to talk with. Whoa. Thank you for the whoa art. I think we're going to raid Risky Biscuit Games. Incredibly, they're new. Super fun game that they're making. They're making an educational game as well. So we're gonna raid them. They're working on a game where you have to Morse code is the way to play a game. All right, we're gonna get out of here, folks. I'll be back tomorrow. Keep coding, keep growing, keep being the best. I should also say join the Discord, all that good stuff. Join the Discord. Click that like. Oh, what is it? Click the like button on GitHub. All right, folks, have a beautiful day. Keep coding, keep growing, keep being the best you can be. You're welcome back anytime. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.